What's up, guys and gals, and welcome to Veve Vibes, where I love talking all things NFTs, speculation, and of course the market. So we're going to do a video a little bit differently today. So today we're actually talking about purely aesthetics of comic book covers, and I try to limit it to like one or two per rarity, but I ended up just doing like three per rarity because I think it's a lot of fun, and I do have many favorites when it comes to comic book covers. And again, this is purely aesthetics. I know most of the content I cover is mostly about, CGC sales and what's the future speculation and how much is it going to sell for and what are the mints of this comic compared to this other comic and how well could it do. We're putting all that to the side, and I'm mainly doing this because I watched Veve Arcade's stream recently, or some of his recent streams, and there was people talking in there, and people even asked me on my recent stream too, hey, what are some of your favorite comic book covers, just aesthetically, what's your favorite looking one, whatever it is. So I figured I'd make a video, and especially since we do have a bit of a break before we do have a drop coming sometime early next week, figured I would make this, and would love to hear down in the comments below what are your guys' favorite comic covers as well. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. First, we're going to start with the comments, and so it is a bit of a spoiler, but I would say my first and foremost favorite one of most of the comic covers is going to be Marvel Spotlight #5, first appearance of Ghost Rider, or I should say Johnny Blaze as Ghost Rider. And I really like this cover. I guess just the aesthetic, just the very color palette of just like the black, the red, the white. I really like the way they had done the black and blue on his I don't know why, I really like that artistic style of like when you're trying to represent black or like shading on black, it's like this black and this like light blue tint to it. I really enjoyed that a lot. Was never like a huge Ghost Rider fan, but I've always really liked the kind of the anti-heroes, the Wolverines, Spawn, same thing with Ghost Rider, where it's like the guys that have either had a dark past or they have to do things that a lot of the Boy Scoutish goody two-shoes superheroes can't do because they just morally can't do it, or they can't comprehend it, so they have to end up using people like them to actually get the job done. My second favorite comic common cover is Captain America Annual #8. So again, it's just the classic fight of basically adamantium versus vibranium. Captain America with his vibranium shield and Wolverine with his claws. I think this looks really, really epic. I actually showed this cover on my Veve app to one of the local comic book guys, and he was kind of getting into the idea of like digital comics and all that stuff. I mean, I talked to the guy for 20 minutes, but when I showed him this one, he's like, oh, that's one of my favorite covers. I like this. So it wouldn't surprise me that this is actually probably a favorite cover of a lot of comic book enthusiasts as well. The third one I would say for the commons is NYX. I don't know, something about it just speaks to me. I think it just makes me very nostalgic for kind of like the early 90s, where a lot of it was about like the Matrix and this kind of like watercolor, as well as I used to play Metal Gear Solid on PS1, so a lot of it kind of had that same feel here, where everything seems to be very like watered down. And obviously she looks very scared and afraid and confused, but we all know X-23 ends up being a pretty powerful character later on in the future, and so she could make an appearance in the MCU as well. But I don't know, just something about that cover I've always really, really enjoyed as well. So now on over to the uncommons. First and foremost, I think everyone saw this one coming. This is actually an emote that is on my YouTube streaming, so if you become a member, I wasn't able to fit the whole picture here, it would just be too blurry. So I just had Iron Man pointing. I already have some community members that have made offshoots of art for this and maybe doing kind of like a different profile pic and stuff like that. But this is such a just like perfect meme template. And when I saw it, I just thought it was so funny that just Iron Man's just pointing at Kang, and Kang just seems like thoroughly confused as to why he's pointing at him. So I've always kind of enjoyed this cover, mostly for like the meme aspect, but I do think it looks pretty cool with that heavy green in the background as well. My second favorite is X-Men 25, the vintage variant. So, and by the way, that last comic was the first appearance of oh my gosh, Kang as well. So most of these comics are actually probably going to do well, like and on Veve, like long-term and all that stuff, because they have a lot of significant first appearances, but some of them won't, like this. Like some of this, this is going to be some crazy level of the same thing as the first appearance, but I just like this cover because, again, I'm a huge X-Men fan. I just like the shards of glass, and it shows off all the very significant X-Men characters kind of like throughout history. So I really, really like this cover. I used to own this one, but I think I ended up selling it for a good amount of profit. I do want to rebuy at some point. So, and that's the other thing too. I'm not saying I own all these comic covers, but I own the majority of them. But some of these I would like to purchase at some point in the future. And my last uncommon cover that I do like quite a bit is this 361 first appearance of Carnage cover. And like the fact that it's just so simple, it's just a lot of black, red, and a little bit of white, but it says so much. And I really like these covers that use up the whole canvas of the of the comic cover, and this one is just like, we don't have a lot of covers that are just like full black. I think we only have like 2, maybe 3 in the whole Veve app, but I also do like Carnage as a villain as well. Now on to the rares. So I actually cheated a little bit here. I ended up going with 4, but first and foremost, bar none, there is no rare, in my opinion, that looks better than Ultimate Fallout 4. So first appearance of Miles Morales. I just love the deep red and the black of the suit that Miles Morales is wearing. I do like this more than probably the secret rare variant, which is like the same stance that Spider-Man is doing and having all his villains in the background. But again, I really like depictions of Spider-Man when he's doing these kind of crazy acrobatic feats, or he's kind of, instead of just sitting there being static, he's in motion, he's doing something crazy, he's contorting his body in weird ways. And I know he's not doing anything crazy here, but I do like these kind of positions that Spider-Man is in, which is why I do like this one quite a bit. My second favorite one, and it's actually more of a more recent comic, which is Spider-Man number 3. This is the, of course, rare variant. And I actually like the rare more than the ultra rare version. I don't know why. It's just more focused on Kraven, and Kraven just looks crazy AF here. And I just love his depiction of him in the rain, clearly just innately predatorily focused on Spider-Man here. And you can actually see his reflection of Peter Parker here in the blade as well. And so I just love the fact that he's just so menacing and he is just trying to take down Peter Parker. So I don't know, I really like this cover. I actually picked this up for like 7 gems on my stream last night, and I really liked it. Once I saw that cover, I'm like, dude, that looks nuts, and I really want it. So I do like that cover quite a bit. My next favorite cover is, again, I'm a huge X-Men fan. I do like the uncommon variant of this too, that has all the good guys around like the Thanksgiving table, but I do like the villains a bit more. So we have Mr. Sinister, Magneto, Juggernaut, Dark Phoenix, Sabretooth, Mystique, Emma Frost, and I never really heard much of this guy. I guess his name is Arcade. I had to like Google it. Didn't really see him in the cartoons. I haven't really seen him too much in the shows or the movies or anything like that. So he was kind of that's probably the only character I wasn't really familiar with, but I do like this. Again, it's like I love just seeing all the villains, and I would love to see more X-Men comics come to the Veve app. And last but not least is, I know I kind of cheated. I said I would do 3 for each rarity. This is the only one I do more than 3. I do actually like this Strange Academy. I like some of the other covers as well. If we scroll down here, I do like the common as well as the rare. I'm not a huge fan of the uncommon or the ultra rare. Secret rare looks all right, but I do like this rare cover quite a bit, where this girl, it definitely gives me these like Harry Potter, possibly like Dungeons and Dragons-esque vibes, where there's kind of like a Cthulhu book and just all these like really dark cursed items and creatures like that are trying to come out of the book, and she's just trying to figure out the scenario and trying to find a way to get out of it. And I just love just the color palette here. There's so many different colors going on here. You got green and purple and red and yellow, and like the blue from her headphones. So I really like this one as well. And again, like, sorry I can't like articulate exactly why I like certain aspects of these covers, but I just know I just like them. Now for the ultra rares, I really like this Ghost Rider 1. Now that I look at it more, like I really loved it, and I still do. Kind of wish the eyes looked a bit more menacing, like the common, where he kind of has like angry eyebrow bones, I guess. He looks a bit more menacing. Also, the bike does cover up a good portion of the Ghost Rider like name on it, but other than that, I love the way the chains look and how everything looks to be like in motion and just very intense, and like the fiery wheel going on. So I do like this one quite a bit. That's probably my favorite ultra rare. My second favorite ultra rare is actually the first appearance of Black Knight, and we're probably going to get an MCU show or movie potentially about this. And I really like this cover. Again, I just like the Triforce, but the trinity of colors of the green, the red, and the white. How the green's kind of like reflecting off of the lower part of his body and as it grieves, and the red is going off of his cape, and like the white is shining off of his sword, and it's kind of reflecting off the upper part of his like furry cape and stuff. So I really like the look of this. I think the rare looks really awesome too, but I kind of like the full color coverage of this one, and I just like to see where these sources of color are coming from rather than just off of his body, which is why I probably like the ultra rare a bit more than just the rare. And last but not least is I actually like quite a bit of the Silver Black cover art. Looks really good. It's not just the ultra rare, which is by far my favorite, but I like the uncommon, I like the rare, I like the ultra rare. Secret rare looks all right. Not a huge fan of the common. Like, I know it's the classic cover, but I just like all the variants just a lot more. And again, I just love the blues, the purples, and the whites and all this. And of course, they're all using, I believe it's the Power Cosmic that they use, that Silver Surfer, as well as oh my god, I forgot his name. I'm gonna Yeah, sorry, I'm just brain farting right now. I forgot his name, but I'm sure someone's going to correct me in the comments. But Silver Surfer Black. Silver Surfer is flying around him. I just love the color palette on this as well. But yeah, so that's really awesome too. It's going to kill me to not remember his name. I've said his name a million times, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Now on to the secret rares. I'm a little bit biased with these because these are two of these secret rares I've actually won on drop, but I do actually like the look of these aesthetically. So I do like Avengers #4. This is the first appearance of Captain America in the Avengers and his first appearance in like the Silver Age comics. He was around quite a bit in the Golden Age, and then kind of took a bit of a break, didn't really make appearances until now. I just like the fact that we have the whole lineup of the Avengers and he's walking by, obviously briefing them on probably their next mission or whatever is going on. But I do, again, like the white background. And I know we don't have Hulk, but he does make a little weird-faced homage there in the top left corner. But I just like this. I've always liked the Avengers. And Captain America is one of my favorites. I think Iron Man is probably my favorite Avenger out of all of them. But I just really like this cover, and I knew this one was going to do very well. So I ended up holding on to it. It's a secret rare cover I won on drop. I'm not going to sell it for a very long time. I am planning on holding this one for the long haul. The next one I did is also, I did win this one on drop as well. So this is Iron Man 55, first appearance of Thanos. This is kind of more of like an MCU importance to me, as well as just in general. When we're talking about, you know, the whole Endgame thing, the whole story arc of Thanos. I know it's already done, and so I know this comic might not get a ton of popularity, like in the near future. It might a bit later, maybe if Thanos makes a return, maybe if the MCU kind of teases out the storyline of like the Cosmic Ghost Rider, which Thanos does like make some appearances in and stuff. But again, first appearance Thanos, that's got to mean something, and like Thanos kind of started the whole, you know, Endgame thing, and then Iron Man is the one that ended it. And on top of that, I do like the fact that Iron Man is on here. He's the one that's kind of kicked off the whole MCU. I mean, his movie that came out in the 2000s kind of just, that success pretty much kicked off the whole thing of the MCU going forward. Once they found out that the superhero that was probably hardly ever talked about before Iron Man, which is Iron Man himself, did really, really well. So I just like that cover quite a bit. Also, again, I'm biased because I did win it on drop, so I'm still holding on to it to this day. And the next one, and again, secret rares were kind of hard to pick. I'll be honest, ultra rares were hard to pick because there's so many good ones. Secret rares were kind of hard to pick because I didn't feel like there was a lot of ones that really like stuck out to me. I actually kind of like the white background, but on certain ones it didn't look great. And some of the characters I didn't really care about, or it just didn't look that good. And especially with the secret rares, there's like 9 or 10 secret rare covers that have like black suit Spider-Man of all different variations and angles and fighting and all that kind of stuff. So that one's kind of like a bit overdone. But I do like this one quite a bit. So this is Amazing Spider-Man 798, first appearance of Red Goblin, which is a combination of, it's not Harry Osborn, but his father, the original Green Goblin, kind of mixed with like Carnage. So now we have the Red Goblin, and this looks really, really menacing. I just love the wreckage in the background, and he's the black and the red. It's easily one of the most menacing looking villains that I've seen kind of Spider-Man come across. And on top of that, it's one of the cooler looking secret rares in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I would love to hear down in the comments below, what are your guys' favorite comic book covers? Again, it doesn't have to be worth a lot on the CGC, or it doesn't have to have future speculation. It's just ones that you just like the covers of aesthetically. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys take care, and double and triple check all of your listings so you guys don't screw yourself over, and I'll catch you guys next time.